Matt, the Open Air Theatre Festival started only 3 years ago, and I know it's grown rapidly, but can you tell us how it came about and why the Holburne, why here?
Yeah, so it actually came about in 2020. It wasn't called the Garden Theatre Festival then. I am an outdoor theatre maker, and COVID, we're obviously in lockdown of COVID, and I sort of thought, well, outdoor theatre is going to be the first way to do performance again and get people to gather. So when restrictions sort of lifted a little bit, that we were allowed to get people in the same space up to about 300 social distance, 2 meters apart, I thought, great, we've got a chance to do an outdoor show. So I reached out to the 3 Inch Fools, the producer James Hyde. I gave him a call and said, because he had raised some money through crowdfunding to get a show on the road, and I said, do you want to come to Bath and we'll try and put a show on? And he said yes. So then I called Spencer here at the Holborn, because we were trying to do it in a park with the council and it was way too complex. So I called Spencer and he just said, yeah, let's do it. So he booked it, and we did the show. We did Midsummer's Night's Dream. James Hyde, the producer, was in it because he couldn't really risk having other actors. So there was a 3-hander of sort of the founders of 3 Inch Fools, and they came and we sold out. We had 250 people here, all social distance, and I thought that was quite good. That went all right. So then the next year, I coined the Garden Theatre Festival and just did 6 nights, very low key. I did a show, 3 Inch Fools came back. We had 2 other visiting companies. And then Josh Beaumont, my co-producer, he joined the party, and him and I together have kind of lifted it into what it is now. So.
Why Bath? Do you have connections with Bath?
Yeah, so I'm not born and bred in Bath, but I trained here as an actor at Bath Spa University. Went to London for a couple of years, and then me and my partner came back and just decided this is what we love. Well, we love living here. And then I joined the Natural Theatre Company, and that was really when I kind of found my roots in outdoor theatre and thought, well, the Southwest is the home of outdoor theatre, and and a lot of opportunities started presenting itself, and we're here now.
Well, it's a big show over a fairly long period, and it's billed as being something for all the family. So how difficult is it, A, getting people together to come along and take part, but also to try and have something for everyone?
Yeah, so I think over the last 2 years, we've kind of really discovered what our programming is, and we know that people like familiar names that ring a bell, that might bring something up from their childhood. So we work with companies that make shows that have plenty of visual gags and jokes for the small ones and for the teenagers. They're probably the hardest people to entertain. And then enough kind of over-the-head humour for the parents. And so when we did Wind in the Willows last year, for example, everyone thought, well, that's a children's show. I'd say the children were outweighed by adults, 20 to 1 probably. So that's what we try to do. We try and have nostalgia, and really what we try and do is just create. The show is secondary, really. I think coming here and having a nice time and bringing your food, maybe getting something from our bar, or bringing everything yourself, your own chairs, that evening out is what we're selling, really. That's what we want people to come and do, and the show is just the nice bit of entertainment.
It is, well, yes, the professional performers won't thank you for that, but that is the big difference. You're not queuing to go into an auditorium and finding seat number 1 in row B. It's a whole new experience. What do people have to bring with them then? So,
we don't have any chairs. You can hire a deck chair from us. That's a new thing this year for those that might turn up the city for a holiday and not have any stuff and come along. But when on our website, we tell people to bring your own chairs, bring your own rugs, bring your own setup, bring your own picnic. Come with a chair or a blanket, whatever you feel comfortable on. Maybe bring some snacks as well and a few drinks. And that's kind of what you need. And then everything else, and it's kind of find your own spot. So blankets at the front, chairs behind. It's all a very relaxed sort of experience. There's nothing really, it's not really that formal in kind of the seating.
Matt, I've left the difficult question to the end. We are talking about Britain. We are talking about open air theatre. We are talking about the summer. What happens if it rains?
So, those who have maybe been to outdoor theatre before, they sort of know that it's rain or shine. So we say the show goes on unless it's crazy wind and it's really, if it's dangerous, the show will stop. But if it's rain and we can still do the show, we'll still do it. We ask people to bring brollies and coats, and actually it's amazing that we tour every summer as well. After this, our in-house show, the Jabberwocky, then tours the whole UK, and we've had some rain, and it's amazing that even here we've had rain before in the first year, and people come prepared. They come with their coats and their brollies, and they're not going to be stopped. And that's just the British, I think, fight against our crazy weather.
It is a very British thing to be doing. You don't see the day in the future when you bring along a big top and stick it out.
Well, that's, I mean, if you hear me and Josh talking about this when we're planning what we're going to be doing in the next 5 years, we want this to be the biggest outdoor theatre in the Southwest, maybe even the UK. Like, we're trying to really scale it up. We've got Regent's Park on our eyes in London. We want to have coverage and big seats and have big in-house shows, and so this is really just the beginning. Every year we're sort of slowly stepping towards that, and we want to keep working with the Holburne to build raking, and so we can have 600 people in here. Then we have to hire toilets and all sorts of things, but that's what we want to do. So at the moment, this is even though it's growing really quick, we're just wanting to keep growing and growing and growing to be able to have that big amphitheatre almost in Bath.